Testing volume.
Is it feedback? No. I don't think so.
Great. Hey, Laura. That's okay. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Congregation Ormi, especially if it's your first time here ever or just in a long while. So we're very glad you're here tonight to celebrate Day of Rest and spiritual refreshment. We begin our service together on the bottom of page 1, and let's read this proclamation together. Tonight we gather together to bring out the best, both in ourselves and in the larger world. No matter how challenging or discouraging various aspects of life may seem, we actively remember and now proclaim together that this world still has much loveliness, many beautiful and splendid things, blue waves whitened on a cliff, soaring fire that sways and sings, and children's sweet faces looking up, holding wonder like a cup, overflowing with awe for the infinite surprises yet to be discovered in this vast and magnificent world. And we continue on page 3 with the sun. Have you ever seen anything in your life more wonderful than the way the sun every evening, relaxed and easy, floats toward the horizon and into the clouds or the hills or the rumpled sea and is gone? And how it slides again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world like a red flower streaming upward on its heavenly oils, say on a morning in early summer, at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt for anything such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere, in any language, a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out, as it warms you as you stand there empty-handed? So I'd like to invite up Jenny to light our Shabbat candles on page 4. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Jenny. At this point in our service, we think of the week that has passed, and we hold on to all of the good things from this past week. So if you had an experience that inspired gratitude, if you have some good news to share, no matter how big or how small, I invite you to share that joy with the community now. Yeah. Awesome. I'm glad you had something excellent this week and mysterious. Joanne? Awesome. All right. It's pretty hard to compete with adopting kittens and delicious pizza and beer. Yeah. Lisa?
Jeff and I just got back a few days ago from Iceland. Wonders.
Awesome. Welcome back. I bet it was an incredible trip. Yeah. Swore?
My students today told me that I made learning fun.
Aww.
That's a compliment a teacher can get.
Yeah.
So the kids give the best compliments because you know they're not lying. So. So we thank God for all these blessings, including the blessing of simply being alive for this moment in time, with the words of Shehechianu found near the bottom of page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh Continue near the middle of page 6 with Holy Curiosity. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reasons for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when she contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. And we continue on page 8. It's an abbreviated version of Lecha Dodi. We'll just do the last line, Boi Kala, and then the first 2 lines.
Boi kala,
Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. We continue on page 9 with Awe in the Outdoors. The moments that I feel the most imbued with a sense of awe are always the moments when I am outdoors. I can't help but feel a certain sense of wonder. I become almost filled with it. And we rise together for our official call to worship, the Baruch Hu, in the middle of page 9. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya Elai, lai, 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. And we remain standing unless you're trying to get in a few more squats today. So we're on page 11 at the top, reading responsively. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk.
Help us to see wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed.
And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder. We remain standing for the most important prayer in our tradition, the Shema, which reminds us the oneness of God, the oneness of our universe, our connections to everyone and everything. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. We continue on page 12. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta bam, bishivtecha bevetecha, uvalechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotofot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot peitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim lelohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti adchem, me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 13 near the top with radical amazement. Our goal should be to live life in radical amazement. Let us get up in the morning and look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Everything is phenomenal. Everything is incredible. Never treat life casually. To be spiritual is to be amazed. We continue with the song of our ancestors' amazement, Mi Chamocha. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'er b'kodesh, Nora tehiloto seifele, Nora tehiloto seifele. Yai lai 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 yai la 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 ya la la yai lai 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 yai la 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 ya lai la lai la yai la 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 ya la la yai lai 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 ya la la la. Page 14. What is this life? If full of care, we have no time to stop and stare. So we celebrate the moments of pause, rest, and reflection with Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת בנפש, שבת בנפש, שבת בנפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Pray as if everything depends upon God, but act as if everything depends upon you. Please rise for our central prayer, the Amidah, the bottom of page 14. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol, Ata Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umidol melach melech memit umechayei umatzmiach Yeshua B'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Please be seated. We continue on page 16 with a quiet moment for personal prayer or reflection. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon Lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech Adon. Lechol hashalom, shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol shar b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. At this point in our service, we think of loved ones who are in need of healing. Tonight, we think especially of Alyssa Freeman, Ron Friedman, Jonathan Prupis-Kern, and Alex Simon. Are there other loved ones whose healing we wish to pray for tonight? With the power of community, we pray for their refuah shlema, the complete healing of body and or spirit. The words of Misha Berach found at the bottom of page 18. Misha Berach מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So tonight, instead of a sermon, we'll have a group discussion. And just to remind everybody, there's no right or wrong answers, so whatever you feel comes to mind. Is there anybody who would like to bring the microphone around the room, trying to get more steps in today? All right, thank you, Lori. So this week's Torah portion is called Akev, which means like kind of like as a result or consequence of. And it talks about 3 different miracles that happened for our ancestors when they're traveling from slavery in Egypt through the wilderness for a really long time on their way to the promised land. So the first miracle is this food that just appears out of nowhere every morning called manna in English, or man in Hebrew. And also their clothes never wore out. Like you could wear the same jacket no matter what season it was for 40 years. I don't know how they smelled, but it never wore out, right? And then the third miracle is a life filled with blessings if you just follow the rules. So first question tonight is, if you could only choose one of these 3 miracles to experience in your own life, which one would you choose and why? So unlimited food just appears every morning, clothes that you never have to replace because they're perfect and stay that way forever, or a life filled with all sorts of blessings, no sickness, right? No war, all good things, as long as you follow the rules. You break the rules, that changes a little bit. But which of these 3 blessings/miracles appeals the most? So we got an answer from Cameron.
Life of blessings.
So you just want the variety pack of blessings? That would be good. So, but you have to follow the rules. You feel like you can follow all the rules to keep the blessings coming?
Yep.
All right, sounds like a good deal to me. Anyone else want just the food that you never have to cook again?
I would like the food. Groceries are so expensive.
Perfect for inflation, right? Price of manna never goes up.
I'll take the clothes because I don't really like going shopping for clothes.
So it's good. Right? You get one shirt, works forever, never have to go clothes shopping again.
I think I'd take the food. It sounds like the most reliable option.
Good. Awesome. All right, that leads to my next question. So regarding the manna or miraculous food that appeared every day with no real effort, if you were to receive manna, which version would you prefer? Would you want manna that is perfectly nutritionally balanced, right? You'll be super, super healthy, but mediocre in flavor? Or would you want manna that is the most delicious food that ever existed, but with mediocre nutritional value? So one's great, one's eh. Which one would you go for your number 2? Great taste, who cares about the nutrition? Okay. We've got some comments over here.
1.
So you'd have good health, right, from all that great nutrition. Any other votes? I think we got 1 vote for each. So raise your hand if you'd go for nutrition, and raise your hand for taste. Okay, so people like to eat, right, for taste. All right, and then lastly, this Torah portion serves as the inspiration for something that we don't often do at Reform synagogues, but if you go to summer camp, after each group meal, they'll do something called Birkat Hamazon, the grace after meals. So we usually just do the blessing before, right? Hamotzi, like thanks for the bread. But Birkat Hamazon's like a lot longer and talks about the bread and the land and all different sorts of things. So the third question related to this is, do you think that food tastes better when someone else makes it for you, or when you yourself put a lot of effort into growing, picking, and preparing it? So which one tastes better? Or is it the same? Laura? So got to vote for someone else?
Yeah.
Just tastes like love, and I didn't have to do this, thank you. Cameron?
I would pick the first one because you do all the hard work, which means you'll be more hungry, so it tastes better.
So food tastes better when we're hungry, so if you work hard to make it, that's a good point. Yeah, Judy?
After cooking for, I think I counted like 45,000 meals or something one time, I think I would have somebody else to prepare it at this point.
Tastes like relief,
I agree.
right? Yeah. We got Eileen and Stan.
Having grown up on a farm, I would definitely go for number 2.
So nothing beats farm fresh, hard work.
Well, it's too much work.
Yeah.
Go to Kroger.
My mother was never someone that found it easy to express herself emotionally. But her way of showing she loved you was cooking, and particularly if she knew something was special to you and was a lot of effort, that was the way she demonstrated it. This is a lot of work, but I'm going to do it because I know you love it.
So that's a great point, right? Not only is it nice, but it's an expression of love and connection between people.
I have a little variation. I would want to eat my own cooking, but not the day I did all the work on, like the next day. Like Thanksgiving, the next day, to me, always tastes better when I haven't had to do the work right then and there. But I want my own cooking, though.
And she's a very good cook.
So that would be interesting to ask scientists, like, is there something like stress hormones from all that like Thanksgiving cooking that like makes it harder to enjoy food, but when it clears the system, it tastes better the next day? So any other thoughts on whether you'd rather, where it tastes better if you put all the effort into it, or if you just prefer someone else to cook for you? All right. So then, oh yeah, Holly?
Okay, I really, really like to make food for other people. So I might eat it with them, but I mostly like to make something that is special and then watch them enjoy it. But I won't stare at you.
Yeah. Good. And then kind of secret last bonus question. Do you think, since Birkat Hamazon, the grace after meals is sort of like blessing and thanking after we eat rather than hamotzi, which we do before we eat, do you think it's easier to thank someone before enjoying something or after enjoying it, like with a meal? Does one thank you feel more sincere, like thank you for the effort before, or thank you for the taste, it was amazing? Like, which one matters more if you had to pick?
I feel like after, well, I just forget beforehand. I'm like already eating, and then it's like, let's say grace, and I'm like, oh, my bad. So it's like, and then I'm like fat and happy. I'm ready to be grateful after eating a meal.
That's good. So you can fill your belly full of blessings. It's easy to express gratitude.
I go for both.
Both are
I am
important.
appreciative before the meal. If somebody has cooked it, I appreciate it very much. And after I've eaten it, I appreciate it even more. I go both.
Well, saying blessing before you eat shows a certain amount of faith in what's coming. If you say grace after the meal, it's sort of a little more skeptical. I got a chance to see if it was good or not, and how thankful I am for that.
So that's a good point.
I think before the meal, so that I could remember to do it before I eat, and I'm thankful for eating this food or having food at all.
Mm-hmm. Jenny?
I agree over here because I think it's like they're two different things almost, and different cultures have different ways of like blessing a meal beforehand. Because I used to live in Japan, and you'd say itadakimasu before you would eat, and sometimes we just do that at home, you know, to keep it up. And then I think afterwards, it's almost like it's a different feeling, you know, that you have like a different kind of gratitude for being, you know, full and happy with the meal that you just had.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes we might use certain ritualistic words, right? Whether it's a Hebrew blessing, a phrase in Japanese, or just a quick rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub, yay God, right? That can get us into the intention, right? The sacred intention, having some mindfulness around our food instead of just like, I'm starving, right? It's gone. So to like really enjoy the holiness and the effort and the creativity and the love and everything that went into that food. And afterwards, our state of being is altered, right, by having been eaten, right? We have our needs taken care of. Hopefully it was a delicious meal. So we have a next layer of gratitude. So could be good to express both. Yeah. Jane.
It's like a fun prayer you do. And with my daughter who went to, you know, all these Jewish camps, I mean, she'll still sit around and like just sing it with her friends because it's kind of like you're just happy and you've been fed and you're fun. It's fun.
For 45 minutes.
Yeah. So has anyone here sung or heard Birkat Hamazon before? Yeah, so I recommend it if you have the chance to go to a Jewish summer camp after a meal. It gets a little crazy, right? My favorite part of when I would do this like in high school was all the like banging on the table and the hand motions. Like it's a full body experience and really expresses the joy of eating meals together as a community. Because you're not supposed to say the whole Birkat Hamazon by yourself. So there's parts where you have to have 3 people eating together and parts where you have to have 10 people to say all the words. So it was kind of designed to create community, right? Of like, I'm not just going to eat a granola bar in my car while driving, right? I'm going to meet my friends for lunch. We're going to have a nice meal and appreciate all the blessings that go into our food. So any other questions or comments about the miracles or the food? Yeah, Monica.
Blessings. You know, we've spoken about the food and a little bit about the clothing that, you know, was a miracle. But what about the blessings? I mean, were they wish-oriented or they just happened? Or, you know, if you didn't follow the rules or intentionally or unintentionally or, you know, how did all that work?
Yeah, so good question. If you read like the whole Torah portion, there's a lot about like all the good things that will happen if you can follow the rules. And then the negative consequences like if you can't. So they're basically the opposite. So I think someone could see it as wishful thinking. Like if we could envision an ideal life, what would that look like? No disease, no being conquered by enemies, right? All the things that troubled people at this time period, you're promised protection from that. So that's sort of a blessing. It's not exactly like, you know, a genie with 3 wishes where you could say, I'd like new scuba diving gear, like really specific to that person. But just kind of general things that most people would appreciate and benefit from in life. So I don't know if that's enough of an answer. If you want, you can look at the text together later and see. But basically, it's a life with almost pretty much no suffering, right? I think that's something that humans like to try to avoid as much as possible, but we find is often a part of life anyway. And it also talks about the trials in life, right? Sometimes people can interpret suffering as a trial and a test, like, are you going to be angry at God for suffering? Are you going to turn to God as a source of comfort and strength to get you through that hard time, right? There's all sorts of directions we could go with that. Yeah, so plenty of food, prosperity, basically. So no suffering, no disease, no war, lots of food, lots of babies. People wanted lots of babies back then, right? So lots of sheep, anything people valued, they'd have plenty of. Yeah.
So was it immortality? I mean, did people die or?
Ooh, so good question. It doesn't specifically mention immortality in the Torah portion. And some people see like the most idealistic life is in the Garden of Eden, where you didn't have to work for your food. It was just growing around you. You're like, oh, look, a pear. And you didn't have a job or stress. But once they ate from the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, right, then they were no longer immortal. So there was a thought that the first humans could have been immortal if they had just followed the one rule they had. Yeah, Margaret?
Yeah, I just think, though, you get all these blessings, you're not going to appreciate them as much as if you've had to work for it or suffer for it. I mean, I would think after a while you get complacent and it's like, oh, okay, I have this perfect day. You know, that's nice. But I think after you've suffered or you've had to go through a struggle, I think it's much more appreciated. So as much as I would love to have continual blessings, it's hard to get the perspective on the how much a blessing is.
So it could be a gift in a way to not have every day be the same, right? So that we can appreciate how magnificent things are. Like, I always feel so good when I can finally breathe fully after a cold. Like, you just take that for granted, and then you're like, my nostril's not working. Like, it's such a small thing, but it makes such a big difference. So after that little struggle, right, you can really appreciate the smallest thing. And you wouldn't have that appreciation if you hadn't had that experience. All right, so I think that's a good note to end on. We can keep talking about blessings and food at Oneg later, but let's continue with some brief announcements with Lisa.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. So good to see you all here. Tomorrow morning is Torah study brunch at 11 a.m. And Thursday, August 29th, is the RISC Mayoral Candidates Forum, starting at 6:30 at Second Baptist Church Southside. So those of you who live in Richmond City might be interested in attending that. Looking ahead, Sunday, September 8th is when religious school begins, opening day, and also that day, Risk It for the Brisket and Kugel cook-off. I'm sorry I'm going to be out of town. I don't get to defend my Kugel title, but somebody else will win it this year. So that's at 12:30, and it's $15 per person or $40 for a family, ahead of time or at the door, just a little bit more, and hope everybody will attend. Another thing is a ramp was put outside that door, just so you know, and that was funded from a grant from the Federation. And then I think Holly has something to share.
Holly, do you want to use the mic? Yeah. So I can hear it on the live stream.
And so everyone can hear.
Accessibility. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Where are you going?
Thanks. I'm Holly, and this is my colleague, Vaz. And we wanted to let you know about we're occupational therapists, and we work with children who have different kinds of challenges. And we are running some programming here this fall. Over the summer, we did 2 week-long summer camps in this space, and they were amazing. We had a really fantastic time. We're going to come back Friday night, November 8th, and do a more comprehensive presentation about the kinds of struggles that some of the kids that we work with have, and how we try to serve them as well as we can in the community. So if you have friends who have, children that are, maybe their development doesn't look like every other child, please invite them, because it might be helpful. Our groups are going to be in the afternoons on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We have a few flyers that we'll leave out here. They're very outdoor oriented. Vaz will talk a little bit about why we like to just work outside in nature. And part of the idea is that these children really struggle, especially with social connection and social relationships. There are some curriculums out there that are and they're good curriculums, but they are geared towards teaching kids very specific things to say and do. We kind of prefer an approach where those opportunities come up a little bit more naturally. Sometimes the children who come to our programs they can't attend other programs. They're asked to leave because for one reason or another, they're hard to handle sometimes. And so we kind of figure out how to make that work, how to give them lots of activity, lots of movement. And then we look for those opportunities where the social piece is like maybe not going so well. And then we can kind of support them through that. And we end up feeling like it's a meaningful way for kids to start to understand how to navigate social situations a little bit more easily. So do you want to talk about the nature piece?
Yeah. So when we first started this, we decided to do it outside because a lot of the kids we work with, they have like ADHD and autism, and a lot of them have like sensory processing things going on. Oh, sorry. So they have a lot of sensory processing things going on. And being outside in nature is like the perfect sensory environment where they can experience all of the sensory things, touch, well, maybe taste if we cook things, which we do. We do cook things outside.
And we remember all the blackberries.
Yes.
Our first week at camp, all the blackberries were out, and the kids were fanatical about picking all the blackberries. It was really cool.
Yeah, we made like blackberry juice, and what else did we? We had blackberry jam, and we baked some like biscuits in there, and it was really fun. Yeah, so, and we had, like also have like a little mud kitchen that we put out there, and like, yeah, so we can make some fake food too. But yeah, also being outside, I feel like it gives kids to really have that sense of freedom and feel safe in a very open space, because a lot of kids are just in a closed environment all day, and kids don't get as much outdoor time anymore. Like, I remember I played like 5 hours a day when I was younger till I had to go to bed, and now kids get like less than an hour of recess. So we really, really think that being outdoors, and research has shown that it is just so good for their brains, whether they're neurodivergent or neurotypical or whatever. It's just good for all their development.
So in the programs, or the part where it says there's a homeschool group, do people have copies of that? Or, okay, that has changed since we first made our schedule, but if you're interested or you have friends who you think might be interested, I think we have like maybe 6 flyers. Sorry, we don't have more, but maybe you could photocopy a few. And like I said, we'll be coming back the second Friday of November, and we'll bring some more flyers then.
Yeah. Also, if there's not enough flyers, which there probably isn't, the website, you can also like look on our website for the group information. It's at fullmoonpediatrictherapy.com. So there's like a section for like OT groups, and you just go on there, and all the information's on there, and all the like rates and application forms are on there. And there's also an option if you want to schedule like a phone call with one of us, just to talk things more in detail before like, you know, referring someone or signing a kid up. We're happy to do that.
Thank you so much for letting us do all that.
Yeah, thank you, Holly and Bess. So we continue our service together on page 20 with Aleinu. Please rise for the Aleinu prayer. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. And we remain standing as a community of support as we remember loved ones who've passed away recently or at this time in years past. Tonight we remember with love Mary Levy, mother of Rachel Levy, Robert Coletti, husband of Fran Coletti, Gay Cook, sister of Russ Jennings, Eve Friedlander, aunt of Sylvia Fine, Clarissa May, mother of Eileen May, and Roy Weinstein, father of Marcia Hansel. Are there other loved ones we wish to remember tonight? Zichronam Livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. We continue together with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 21. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bialma Divrach Hirute v'yamlich Malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabbah Mivarach le'olam olamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort for all who are bereaved, and let us say,
Amen.
Please be seated. We conclude our service tonight, the bottom of page 23, with Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu.
Od Yavo
Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. If everyone could kindly return your services to the table near the entrance and then join us in the back for Kiddush and Motzi, that would be great. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.